For those of you who have been subscribed to the channel for a while, then you've already met my friend Dewey here. But for those of you who are new around here, this is Dewey. He is almost 7 years old and he is a Labradoodle. Now, in regards to future adventures that require some strenuous activity, you probably won't see Dewey on many more of those. That's because he's been diagnosed with hip dysplasia, arthritis all up and down his spine, some elbow dysplasia, among some other things. And unfortunately, surgery isn't an option, just because if you work on the back legs, then it puts more strain on the front legs, and you do the front legs. But let's go back to the beginning. We got Dewey for trade, actually, and we weren't naive to the stigma around backyard breeders and the need to adopt shelter dogs. In fact, since getting Dewey, we've toyed with the idea of bringing a second dog in and it possibly being a rescue, but we wouldn't trade Dewey for the world. At the time that he came into our lives, we really needed him, and the fact that he is such a mellow, easygoing, super intelligent dog, we just fell in love with him instantly. He was the cutest little puppy, and he loved to sleep under our bed. And what's funny is, even at his size now, which is right around 75 pounds, he'll still try to sleep under the bed, but all that fits under there is his head. It's pretty hilarious, actually. But early on, Lacey and I went out of town when he was a puppy, and our in-laws were watching him, and my mother-in-law said that one day he went to get up, even as, a small puppy, and just let out an interesting squeal. And early on, as a youthful dog, he didn't really exhibit much other than he would come back a little bit sore. And I'd take him on some pretty long hikes. In fact, the longest one we did was 9 miles from the top of Mount Ogden all the way down to my house, and he was sore for a few days after, but so was I. But we just thought it was interesting that at such a young age that he was exhibiting signs of an older dog. And so that concerned us, and we'd talk to our vet and they'd give us ideas. We'd put him on medicine like Vetprofen, which is like ibuprofen for dogs, and gabapentin for, his nerves and muscles or whatever that does. But it wasn't until we got a full body x-ray, and of course those are expensive for dogs, and we don't have dog insurance, but we figured it was the best thing to do. And that's when we found out exactly all the different unfortunate genetic defects that this poor boy has. And so nearly at 7 years old, he should be in his prime, maybe show some signs of slowing down, but he should be able to still run full speed and keep up with all the other dogs, but he just doesn't. In fact, just recently he's developed a pretty significant limp, and so our goal now, with the advice from our vet, is to just keep him as comfortable as possible for as long as possible. It's sad to see something that you love go through something like this. I often ask myself, why do we even do this to ourselves? I grew up with dogs, but they were more utility hunting, pheasant hunting, outdoor dogs. So, they were fun to play with, but Dewey is most definitely an inside dog. And what I found interesting is, I'd try to make him kind of my mountain companion, and he did fine, but he just didn't jump from rocks to rocks. He didn't go down steep hills very fast or climb up steep mountains. He followed along, and he did great. And to be honest, it was actually kind of nice. I didn't have to worry about him getting too far ahead or too far behind. We could just kind of go at a nice pace. But what I didn't realize at that time is that there were some limitations, that he was dealing with as a dog with some very sad and unfortunate genetic defect. So he's so sweet. We love him. And I'm just making this video as a tribute to Dewey. We hope that by taking these precautions now, we can keep him in our lives as long as possible and keep him in our memory forever. I don't know why I feel like the need to be vulnerable about this dog, but again, just wanted to pay tribute to Dewey. Dewey also gets one shot a month. I can't remember the name of the medicine, but it actually seems to have helped out quite a bit. So that's pretty exciting. He gets up a little faster. He doesn't cry out in pain after walks. But the thing with that shot is it's not repairing any of the damage or even kind of slowing down any of the damage that's being done to his poor joints. And it's just keeping him comfortable. He's not terminal. He's just probably not going to have the longevity of a dog of his size and type. You know, usually larger dogs don't live as long as smaller dogs. That's just a given, but it's weird. It's weird to talk about this. But again, I just want to pay tribute, and hopefully by being vulnerable and sharing this experience, this might be some sort of help to somebody who comes across this video wondering, you know, what's going on with their dog, if they should get it checked out, or any of the signs that Dewey had early on of pain and discomfort. Maybe that's something that you could go talk to a vet about and kind of get a start on it early, because unfortunately, even though we were doing stuff as soon as we found out, we didn't really know until he was about 5 years old that, you know, the full magnitude of the issues, because the hardest part about owning a dog is they can't tell you what's wrong. So a lot of it is guesswork. But also, by sharing this story, maybe some of you in the comments know what else we can do to help this poor guy out. But obviously we don't love him any less. He's still our #1 companion. He's a happy dog. He's a cute dog. Everyone that sees him, and I know his back's turned, but he's not really listening to me right now, but everyone who sees him just loves and adores him. He's the cutest dog ever, and he's become a major part of our family. But that's Dewey. Even though he can't go on some of the long adventures, he still loves car rides. He still loves to go camping. You know, early on we thought that we had the best dog because he never jumped up on people, and we're like, oh man, that's one thing that we didn't have to train him. Although it is a blessing and it is nice, he doesn't jump up on people because his back legs don't work like a normal dog's, and that was the case from almost the beginning. We've learned that he does something, it's called displaced emotions. So rather than jumping on someone, he will just pick up whatever item is closest to him and present it to somebody. So that's his way of showing that he's excited, and everyone just thinks it's so funny when he brings them a shoe. Another nice thing about Dewey is he's never been a chewer upper, except when he was a puppy, chewed up a couple things. But you know, we can leave him at home for extended periods of time, and we don't have to worry about anything while we're gone. He's the most well-behaved dog in that regard. And he has a couple tricks. I'll just show you some of my favorite. Of course, he knows shake, oh boy, but then he knows up. But you see, he can't really like lift himself up on those back legs there. If I tried to, it would probably hurt him. So he's a good boy though, and that's the story with Dewey. Like I said, if this could help anyone, or if anyone has any ideas or help, love to hear them in the comments. Good boy.